and have been following your work for a while. So just wanted to know like how did you start from the ground and up, and just want to get some advice on that. Yeah, thank you. And like on how to become a better entrepreneur. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's easy to stitch together narratives of why we do what we do after the fact, but the reality is that life is just very path dependent. You're in a certain situation and you're faced with a bunch of choices, and sometimes you can also blow up out of those choices, but you just take whatever path is in front of you. And so I just followed the path that was in front of me. It's if you had dropped me into 1,000 different universes, I wouldn't have started AngelList 1,000 times. I probably wouldn't even be an entrepreneur 1,000 times. But there were certain things that I was just drawn to. I was drawn to science because it's the study of truth, and I just really respected and admired the scientists growing up, the great scientists. And I also wanted to make money, and the intersection of science and money is technology. So that sort of led me to technology. And then the center of technology was the tech industry in the San Francisco Bay Area. So that kind of pulled me towards Silicon Valley in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I had to go there. And then when I got there, I realized I'm not actually the hardest working person. It's I don't like working hard. I'm kind of a lazy person, to be honest. I do end up working hard, but I don't like to do classic work. Like you could not get me to do a 9 to 5 job and show up on time and sit at a desk and answer questions, from my bosses. And I never liked bosses. I never liked straitjackets. I was fired from my first internship. Reality and suffering hits us when we can no longer deny what reality is telling us. So like your girlfriend breaks up with you, you don't want to acknowledge the relationship was bad, but the moment she leaves you, that's the moment you suffer. You're crying. And you're forced to face the reality, and all the expectations you had of where this thing was going to head, come rushing back out of you and have to crash to the floor because you'd been denying reality all along. So these moments of trauma and suffering are what actually bring us back to reality. They force us to reconcile with ourselves. They force us to improve and change, and they actually build a closer relationship for us with reality and with ourselves. So I would say that the most important turning points in your life are actually the ones where you had the most trauma, because if I were to take those away, I would take away the story of your life, and what would remain would be pretty boring.
Hey, Naval, a quick question.